Welcome back to another Warrior Wednesdays. Kisyuk Vishnam. Kisyuk Kyukyet. Kisyuk Quiet. My name is Peter Not So White. And today I want to talk a little bit more about health and why it's so important. And one of the things that actually caused me to be here, and that was with my journey with cancer and all that stuff in life. So let's say I go out and I buy a new car, and I drive that car and I'm enjoying it. I'm really happy with it. It's great on gas. It's spacious. It's everything I've wanted in life. And all I do is just fuel it up. I don't take care of it at all. I wash it, from time to time, and I don't do any maintenance on it at all. I do zero maintenance on that vehicle. Well, eventually that vehicle is going to need an oil change. Eventually it's going to need an air filter change. It's going to need new tires. It's going to need new spark plugs. It's going to need proper maintenance. But if I don't do these things, how long do you think this vehicle will stay new? It won't take that very long for it to break down. Yeah, since it's brand new and how technology is with vehicles nowadays, it would last a lot longer, but it's still eventually going to break down and seize up. The oil is going to get too thick, it's going to get too thick to run through those pistons, which eventually is going to wear down those pistons, which eventually is going to wear down other things within the engine. This vehicle would most likely only last maybe 3 to 4 years, depending on how much I drove it and depending on how heavy I was with the gas pedal. That's one people don't realize, is if you're really, really heavy on your gas pedal, you're gonna be a little bit more harder on that engine for it to run. Some vehicles, yes, they are made to run fast. They are made to push themselves. But your everyday daily driver isn't. And this vehicle, yeah, it may get gas in it, but it's not going to last long. And we have to think of a vehicle like our body. If we're not maintaining our body from time to time, we are eventually going to get disease. We are eventually going to get sick. We are eventually going to get worn out. And simple things like meditating, drinking water every day, stretching for a couple minutes every morning, walking, getting the heart, get the heart beating, get your blood flowing. These simple things, cutting down excess refined sugar intake, cutting down, trans oils like canola oil and all these things that aren't good for our body. Doing these simple little things will allow your body to run at its greatest capacity, so you can have a long, flourishing life, just like a vehicle. So say we look at this vehicle in a different way. So I buy this vehicle brand new, but I take it in for its it's maintenance oil change. I change the cabin air filter when it needs to be changed. Every vehicle is different. I change the spark plugs when they need to be changed. I take my tires in to be rotated so they're all getting worn out evenly. I am taking the time to put in the proper gas that the vehicle recommends. And I just keep doing the basic maintenance. Nothing too drastic, but something just simple. How long do you think that vehicle will last? Well, it'll last long enough that when I have kids, that they would be able to drive it, and they would be able to take care of it, and they would be able to, enjoy it and get around. All by just taking care of the simple little maintenance things that we all overlook. And our bodies are like a vehicle. You were born, most people are born without sicknesses and diseases and stresses and all these things. Yes, there are the cases where people are born with things. But the, 8 out of 10 people that are born aren't born with these things. It's what you do from day to day. If you're taking the time to maintenance your stress levels, if you're taking the time to fuel your body with the foods it needs. And I've talked about it before, not one way of eating is right for everyone. Veganism is a great tool, but it's not for everyone. You can do short stints of being vegan to help your body reset, especially if you're someone that ate very, very poorly throughout their life. Veganism is a really good way to kickstart your body and to get a full revamp, wipe everything out. Vegetarian is a great way of eating, but it's not for everyone. Carnivore, it's not for everyone. Keto, it's a great one too for inflammatory diseases. Intermittent fasting is also amazing. It gives you the means to control your mind. It allows your body to be able to reset. And I learned some pretty phenomenal things about intermittent fasting. And usually when I'm starting to get ready for powwow season, I will start to intermittent fast. And sometimes I'll do the 18 and 6. That's what I roughly try to go for. Usually 2 to 3 days a week. When I ended up getting COVID this past August, I actually fasted for 4 days. And all I had was my coffee in the morning, and I would have green tea throughout the day, and then I would just have little bits of water. I was very, very minimal. And you look at some animals out there in the world, and you look at them, and they will actually not eat anything for multiple days at a time when they're sick, because they understand their body. They understand what they need to overcome this sickness. And when we are eating things, our body actually has to use energy to digest it. Just like when most people actually don't know this, but if it's a really, really hot day, let's say like a really, really warm day out, and you're feeling overheated, and then you try to go drink a massive glass of water with ice cubes in it, you may actually put your body into shock. And most people think that it wouldn't put them into shock. But your body is like a furnace. When you drink things, your body actually has to bring that water up to temperature of the body in order for it to use it. So just think about that. It actually has to use double the amount of energy now to bring that water back to room temperature so it can use it. So if you're one of those people that, wait till the very, very last minute to drink water, especially on hot days, I recommend that you just drink room temperature water. And yeah, it's hard to get used to at first, but your body will thank you, because then it can go to work and use it right away. It doesn't have to heat it up. And the same thing with food. If you can start to have a really, really strong love relationship with food, you can do wonderful things for your body. And intermittent fasting will really teach you these things on how to control, your mind. And intermittent fasting isn't right for everyone either. So if you have a family doctor or a dietitian, I highly recommend that you have these open conversations with them. You speak to them and ask them about different styles of eating, and get multiple options, get multiple answers. Go to a doctor and then go to a dietitianist, go to a nutritionist, because everyone has different practices, different teachings, different stories. So get options. It'll save you. It's like if you go into a vehicle, buy a vehicle, you have many options on what vehicle is out there. You can get an SUV, you can get a van, you can get a car, you can get a truck, you can get a van, you can get an electrical vehicle now, half and half electrical, one of the hybrids. There is unlimited amounts of choices out there. Even when it goes to tires, you go to a tire store and there's just rows and rows and rows and rows of different tires that you can get for your vehicle, that are specific for your vehicle and specific for the terrain where you live in. It's a lot, and your body's the same way. You can eat a certain style and then switch over to another style to eat. Our bodies are like the seasons, and every season has an end to it. Fall goes into winter, winter into spring, spring into summer, back into fall. Some people just get so asphyxiated on eating only one style that they don't realize that their body needs certain things throughout the year. And that's how a lot of us are. Myself too. I'm that way. And I was eating keto for, off and on for a while now, pretty steady. And I have a trainer who helps me change my meal plans for the type of workout I'm doing and the goals I'm trying to meet with my weightlifting. And he started to incorporate carbs back into my diet. And at first I was like, oh no, I'm scared, carbs, I'm gonna get bloated, I'm gonna, how I used to feel. But then I realized that my body is like a season, right? In the wintertime, us indigenous people had very minimal carbohydrates. We did have carbohydrates, but there were more through fiber throughout the winter. You would just survive off meat mainly. And veggies were very scarce because of the snow and the cold weather. And then springtime comes around, which it is right now, and you would get more carbohydrates. You would get more fruit. You would get more veggies and greens. So I started to add more carbohydrates into my diet. And wow, my body started to respond really, really well. It actually responded a lot better than I thought it was going to respond. So if you're one of those people that gets so asphyxiated on a certain style, on a certain thing, a certain diet of eating, understand that you might just switch it up, and your body will really, really thank you. Because it was crazy that my body, like the transformation that I'm seeing in my body right now is pretty phenomenal. And I think back to when I was about to start eating carbs again, when my trainer wrote up my meal plan. And I didn't think that carbs would help me the way they are. And I'm eating them at specific times to help me. And you're the exact same way. So understand that you are like a vehicle. And you wouldn't not take care of your vehicle. So why aren't you taking care of your body? You know, you're going to have your body for the next 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, however old you are. And then your habits that you have right now are going to get passed on to your children and their children most likely. So your vehicle, your body, is going to also affect people around you by creating their habits. So start to learn more about food. Start to enjoy food. Start to, take the time to feel your body the way it's meant to be. And you are going to start feeling more amazing. Trust me. I've been there where I used to eat like crap. And I would always feel lethargic, and I would always feel tired, and I was always having to drink energy drinks, and I was always having to have coffee. But I wasn't realizing that the food that I was putting into me was making me feel like crap. It was making me feel good in that instant moment when I ate it. But after my body digested it, I felt lethargic, and I felt crappy, and I felt swollen, and I felt puffy, and I felt lazy. And I definitely did not want to go work out. I definitely did not want to stretch. I definitely did not want to invest into myself. So see, it all stems back to the way we eat. And that's one way that you can start to take care of your body, to take care of that maintenance so your body can last a very long time without any drastic problems in life. And you might have a big obstacle to overcome, but if you already have the tools in your toolbox, you'll be able to get that job done a lot quicker if you didn't. So take the time to maintenance your body. Take the time to take care of yourself. And I'm off now. I'm gonna go head up the gym. Today's a later workout, but I'm gonna go get a very, very good back workout in. It's a rainy day here in Vancouver on the unceded Coast Salish territories of the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh, and the Musqueam people. So with that, on Winnegit, Dagas, and remember, everything always happens for the right reasons. Take care. I'll see you next Wednesday, all my warriors.